am going to be discussing what macros are today. A lot of people have been asking me questions just based off of my Instagram posts and things like that, asking what macros are, how you follow a macro plan, and kind of just all stuff like that. I recently did a post on my blog just explaining macros, kind of going more into depth information wise, I guess you can say. But now I'll just give you a general overview. So basically, your macros, it stands for macronutrients, and your macronutrients are your proteins, carbs, and fats. So basically what you're consuming. When you look at a food label, I have a prop here for you. My favorite, Chips Ahoy Reese's chocolate chips. Of course, I have an unhealthy prop. But when you look at a food label, you have the nutrition facts. And fun fact, they recently just changed some of the information that they provide on nutrition facts. So watch out, they're going to start looking a little bit different. They've started rolling out a few of them recently on some products. But anywho, side note right there. So when you look at a nutrition facts label, the first thing you see is the serving size. So in this case, the serving size is 2 cookies. Okay, not bad. And then it tells you how many of those servings are within the container. But the main reason why you have to look at the serving size is because, one, you need to measure how much you're eating because the macronutrients change based off the amount of food that you are consuming. So if I were to eat 2 cookies from here, the total fat that I would be consuming is 6 grams. The total carbohydrates is 19 grams, and the total protein is 2 grams. Obviously, there's other things that you're consuming, like cholesterol, sodium, potassium, fiber, things like that, but those are not your macronutrients. So, basically, with macros, it's kind of like when people say they're counting calories. If I was on 1,500 calories per day, I would track the food that I was eating and subtract those calories from the 1,500 calorie limit that I had. With macros, it's a little bit more specific because calories are not all the same. Different kinds of macronutrients respond differently within your body biochemically. So in terms of your goals, if it's weight loss, if it's muscle building, you need different macronutrients. Like for me, when I started with my fitness journey, I was overweight. I was also consuming a diet that was extremely high in fat and carbohydrates and very low in protein. And the number one thing that people don't understand when you're trying to lose weight is that you need to incorporate weight training into your exercise, because weight training will enable your body to build muscle, which in turn helps you burn more fat throughout the day at your resting metabolic rate. So when we started, my macros were very high. I had 150 grams of protein per day, which is almost, I want to say, double the recommended daily amount that you should be eating as a typical human being. My carbs were high at 150, and my fats were around 33, which is somewhat low, but not super low. Obviously, you don't want to intake a lot of fat when you're trying to lose weight. But the reason why my protein was so high is because I was doing a lot of weight training and building a lot of muscle. And when you build muscle, basically what happens is you are tearing apart your muscles during weight training. That's essentially what is happening. You're ripping those muscles, and during your recovery, your muscles are regrowing, and that's why they get bigger, because they're regrowing. But you need to take in enough protein to do that. Your muscle is basically protein. So that's why your protein's so high when you're first starting out. As time went on and as I progressed and I started to lose weight, my macros started coming down. First, my carbs came down. Every so often, I would lose 10 grams of carbs per day. So now, after all of these, check-ins and changing macros around, I am on 115 grams of protein. I switch between a high day of 140 grams of carbs and a low day of 100 grams of carbs, and then my fats are at 27. So these are very, very low macros. We're trying to get me very lean before we reverse diet, which is a whole nother thing I will discuss with you at a later date, because that's very complicated to understand as well with all of this info. But basically, back to what we were discussing of macros. So with tracking macros, people oftentimes get confused and don't understand why they can't just count their calories, which, if you're following your macros, you're going to stay within the correct realm of caloric intake. And the reason that is because each macronutrient has a certain number of calories associated to it. So carbs and protein, both, there are 4 grams of carbs per calorie, 4 grams of protein per calorie, and there are 9 grams of fat per calorie. So basically, if you're staying within your set of macros, mathematically, you're going to be staying within your caloric intake as well. The reason is why people follow macros instead of calories, like I said, is because calories are not created equal. Back before I started, I probably was eating a 1,500 calorie diet. I don't think I was eating, maybe I was eating a little bit more than that calorie-wise, but the breakdown of it macronutrient-wise was not what it should be for my goals. You're never going to lose weight if you're eating too many carbs and too much fat. It's just not going to happen. Same way, if you're eating too many calories, you're not going to lose weight. But by following macros, biochemically, your body will respond appropriately to it. Some people don't like following macros. They feel that it's very structured and they feel very overwhelmed with it at first, but I use MyFitnessPal. It's an app that you can get on your phone, and I also have done a blog post about it. There are a bunch, I don't even remember the number, but a crazy amount. They have so many different products on there with the correct macros. You can scan barcodes to get the macros based off of packages. And the thing that I really got to enjoy with macro counting was that it's flexible, and that's why it's called flexible dieting, because if it fits your macros, you can eat it. And I'm a strong supporter of, eating clean 80 to 90% of the time. You should really not eat that much processed food, because it's, not good for your body, and you will feel more full and you will just feel better and healthier if you eat clean. But depriving yourself of, what you want and your cravings is not going to get you anywhere. It's going to get you into that yo-yo dieting effect where you deprive yourself and then you binge, and you deprive yourself and you binge, and that was my life. I would eat completely 100% clean for a week, and then I would go out drinking and binge and eat an entire Domino's pizza the next weekend, and then I'd feel horrible about myself and go back to eating clean. And that's why my weight fluctuated, but it never was something that I could maintain in terms of weight loss until now. And with macros, if you can fit it into your macro set for the day, you can eat it. So yes, there are times when I do eat Chips Ahoy cookies, and there are times when I eat ice cream, and when I eat pizza, and when I can get French fries. Right now my macros are very low, so it's difficult to fit things in that I want to, but as we reverse diet, as we add in more macros and and more calories so that I can get more muscular and more fit before my show. I'll be able to eat more foods because the macros that I'm on, you should not be at for an extended period of time. But it's one of those things where so many people deprive themselves and wouldn't go out to eat with friends or would avoid social activities because they were afraid they were going to be tempted to eat something that wasn't, in their plan, or they felt like they had to eat in private because everyone was judging them based off of, what they ate and what they didn't eat. And with this new macro approach and flexible dieting, you can go to Chipotle, you can go get froyo. These are all things that I have enjoyed, and I've still lost almost 30 pounds. I don't feel deprived. I don't feel upset that I don't get to eat anything. And sometimes, yeah, like I probably can't fit an entire cheeseburger or like bacon cheeseburger into my macros right now. But at the end of the day, food is food. Like, food is not your life. Food is not something that typically isn't going to be there tomorrow. Like, there will always be a bacon cheeseburger in the world that I can get. Do I need it right this second? No. Like, hunger, food cravings, all those things are temporary, and it really works with your mind a little bit when you realize this is all temporary. Like, food is not something that you should base your life around. Food is something that's supposed to support your body, and nutritionally, it's supposed to keep you healthy and fuel you and give you energy and make you feel good, but it's not something that you should look at as like a mental euphoria that I'm gonna get to eat this cheeseburger and be the happiest person in the world. Like, food is food. That's all that it is. So once I started looking at it like that, that's when things really changed, and I didn't constantly think like, I need to eat this and I need to eat that and I'm so hungry and I want this and I want that. I just looked at it as survival. You need to eat to survive. That's what it is. But anyway, that's another tangent that I'm going on. But macros, it's pretty simple. Your fats, carbs, proteins, you count them up, and that's what you do. Some people you'll hear talking about micros, which stands for micronutrients, and those are your vitamins and minerals that you intake. But those don't have any caloric content to them, so you can take as many of those as you want. Not really. They do have recommended daily allowances of how much you should consume of your micronutrients, because believe it or not, if you eat too much iron or you eat too much vitamin B or vitamin C, sometimes it could be toxic for your body. So if you're consuming a lot of that, a lot of any micronutrients, you really should check with a physician, and also just make sure that you're not consuming too much that you're going to harm your body. And as usual, if you are looking for a set of macronutrients or just nutritional guidance or workouts or anything, please contact me. I have a wonderful trainer and coach here who has given me all of my set of macros, which we rearrange constantly because your body adapts, and that's what happens. Your body is concerned with survival, and when it thinks it's not getting enough food, it'll start holding on to your everything. It'll just stop losing weight because its main concern is to live. So when that happens, you hit a plateau, and most people get discouraged when they hit a plateau and they don't push through, and that's why their weight loss stops. But luckily for me, I have a coach where when we hit a plateau, we rearrange macros. We try changing up workouts a little bit, or adding in, refeed days where you kind of shock your metabolism and give it some more energy to kind of kickstart your weight loss again. So it's all a learning curve. Like, your diet is not just going to be your set diet for however long you're doing it until you reach your goal. It's going to have to change because your body adapts. So if you are looking for guidance and help, please let me know, and I can get you in contact with all the right people. So I hope that you guys understand macros a little bit more now. I hope that now you will have a good sense of what you're consuming when you eat. Definitely, I think you should look at nutrition facts to begin with, but you should also read ingredient labels, read serving sizes, know what you're putting in your body. There are days when I just go to the grocery store and I just go walk around and look at things. I pick up the Oreos and I look at what's inside of them, and I pick up different jars of peanut butter and look at the ingredients and look at the fat content and look at the calories. And I mean, basically that's what I'm going to school for, so that interests me, but it's also something you should be concerned with, what you're putting into your body. Like if someone just handed you a drug and was like, here, take this, you wouldn't just be like, oh, okay, thanks. You would ask them what it is. You would ask them why you're taking it. So it's like you need to be concerned about what you're putting into your body, because ultimately no one else is going to be concerned about it. It's your body, and if you want to be around for a long time, you got to take care of it. So if you have any other questions about macros, please comment below, and I will talk to you next time.